So good morning, ladies. I am excited for this week's chat. You know I'm excited about every week's chat though, right? But I'm especially excited this week. This week we have on with us Cindy Harrington. Now let me explain to you how I found Cindy. So Cindy is a tea tapper and she emailed me that she'd like to take a class. So I look at Cindy's email, and this is why emails are important, girls. And her email was Cindy at the Center for Nutritional Healing.com. Did I get that right?
Almost. No, the.
Oh, thank you. Center for Nutritional Healing. Yes, thank you. .com. Well, you guys know that absolutely caught my attention, and I'm like, Cindy is in the healing professions. Let me check it out. So I went to her beautiful website and I was awed and inspired. And I thought Cindy is somebody that we must have on our chat to share her story, what she does, and how it might be able to help some of you. Just really interesting. So Cindy, welcome.
Thank you, Renee. I'm really honored to be here.
And I'm honored to have you. So let's just dig right on in. Tell me, give me your story. What is this? What do you do? How did you get into it?
Wow. Well, I was in chronic pain.
That's a good place to start a story, right?
Yeah, there's nothing like being in chronic pain to get you motivated to get well. So, I had a traditional American diet, standard American diet, SAD, growing up and through my adult life of, sugar and processed foods, and my body revolted in my late 30s and I developed chronic pelvic floor pain.
Oh.
Yeah, terrible. I got a diagnosis of vulvodynia after the doctor ruled everything else out. And this wasn't the first doctor I went to. And that's chronic pain of the vulva, not a fun condition. It launched me into figuring out why, because the doctors really weren't able to tell me why. And I got a lot of help from nutrition and physical therapy and yoga. I have an affinity for helping others and a love for holistic health. So I got certified in nutrition, but still felt like I was on an island, trying to help myself, guessing as to what I should try next. Then I discovered nutrition response testing 2.5 years ago, and it changed everything. I had answers, and I had a way to help my body where there was no guessing. And my condition has improved dramatically. I'd say I'm 75% better in terms of the chronic pelvic pain. I no longer have chronic fatigue. My immunity is dramatically better. I could go on, and I have answers now.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. And I absolutely love so much of what you said in that, even when we study all this, nutrition especially, everybody knows nutrition. Everybody's a guru. Everybody can quote all their studies to show that their agenda is the way to go. Nutrition is religion in this country, right? But yet, what's right for us and what's right for us at one point in our lives are not necessarily what's the body is needing at this time in our life. So share with me how you found the nutritional response testing.
Yes.
And go on.
Well, I went to my chiropractor, and I had a terrible pelvic floor flare-up because I tried some kind of remedy from the health food store. It might have been a heavy metal cleanse or a parasite cleanse. I did exactly what was on the box. There were like 3 bottles of something, and I did what it said, and my body revolted. I went into a flare-up. So I went to my chiropractor and I mentioned this, and he said, you should go see the local naturopathic doctor up in a town about 30 miles away. She helped my brother. So I went online to look at her credentials, and I already had an orientation to muscle testing and how that could help me from a very dear friend in Texas who I met at Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So this doctor of naturopathic medicine practices nutrition response testing. She tested my body, and I started her program, and driving home after taking a certain supplement after my first visit with her, I started feeling better. I had chronic hemorrhoids at the time. And so I'm driving home, and sitting in a car was painful for 30 miles. But I thought, there's something different. So I had immediate help and results. And now 2.5 years later, I'm still healing. It's an ongoing process, and it'll be a lifelong process of keeping my body healthy and healing. But I'm in such a better place.
I love that. Thank you. That is so lovely. All right. So you decided, well, I have to help. So first of all, I'm just going to go back for a second and just highlight something you said. So I'm going to make the assumption then that you are a graduate of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition.
I am.
Which is, you guys, for those of you who might not be aware, is like the top certification. It's fabulous. And so good on you, number one. And I'm just going to do a little quick hop out of that whole realm to there was something else that you are that is completely different that I just wanted to share with people. You are also into music, are you not?
Yes, I am a professional pianist.
On top of it all. So this is really a whole new profession for you.
Yeah, although ever since I was in my 20s, feeling like an old woman in a young woman's body, I've been on a mission to figure out what is going on, and I just completely gravitated to nutrition. And I think it was a great way, a great direction, because nutrition really is the foundation of our health. But so I've had an orientation, and I'm also inherently a helper. I love helping others in any which way. And so I'm very analytical, actually. So this nutrition response testing is a system of analysis. And it ties in with the music. Music is healing. I love working with other musicians, accompanying singers and instrumentalists. So I love working with people.
That's so fascinating, music, and we don't have to get off on that topic. I just found that so interesting because so much of neuroscience is now, because of course we need studies to show what we already know. Yeah. And that way it makes it true, I guess. That being said, that music is so powerful for our neurology and how we learn and keep our brains juicy. Music is huge. The notes, the rhythm, etc. And yes, we always know that if you want to be better in math, students in math do better when they're studying music and taking musical instruments. So absolutely, there is that analytical creativity, left brain, right brain, sync it all in together.
That's so true.
Yeah. And the interesting thing that I found with nutritional response testing, and you used a great word, and that is, it is systematic. There is a system. It's not woo-woo. It's not out in space. It's a very specific system. Can you give a high-level sort of explanation about what it is and how it works?
Yeah. It's a system of analysis that allows the practitioner to figure out where there's weakness in your body, what is causing that weakness, and the exact nutrition your body needs to heal. So when we talk about what's causing that weakness, with nutrition response testing, we know that there are 5 major stressors on the body. It could be a food. It could be an immune issue like a virus, bacteria, fungus/yeast, or parasite. It could be a chemical like chlorine or fluoride, or one of hundreds or thousands of other possibilities.
Right.
It could be a heavy metal. And it could actually be a scar that is throwing off your nervous system and your health. So we can test for these 5 major stressors. We do a body scan. So the testing is done in the office. It's completely non-invasive. We don't draw blood. We don't take urine or any other substance from the body, but we test in the office, and we generally use a muscle of the arm. So the client or patient holds out their arm, and the practitioner will push on it while they're doing other things to get answers about what's going on with the body. So one part of that analysis is we do a body scan. So we'll put pressure on the nerve endings related to different parts of the body, related to organs and glands, and test the arm to determine where there's weakness. Okay, so thyroid, that's a big one.
Lots of big ones, yeah.
And this is all science-based. And the nervous system is so sensitive that even if you put a glass vial on the body, even over the clothes, that nervous system is so sensitive that it picks up on the energy of what's in that glass vial and can give us so much incredible information. The system is unlike anything I've ever seen or experienced. I feel like I'm holding the Holy Grail in my hands, almost literally. I have the answer to one of life's most pressing questions. Health is life's most precious gift. It is our birthright. And we have a way to regain health or obtain it. And that is with this incredible system. And the healing I see here is like nothing I've ever seen. It's like a miracle.
Oh, I love that.
It's incredible.
Oh, Cindy, and your heart just pours through this, and I understand that because when you've been really sick, and I can't even imagine that kind of pain, and you start to come out, how can you not share it? How can you not share it?
Yes. It's the greatest honor that I could be bestowed in this lifetime.
Yeah.
To facilitate this for others.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Were there things that it found in the beginning that really surprised you?
One thing that surprised me was that my body doesn't need a lot of anything. So when I described getting that box from the health food store of that cleanse, and I was doing bottle A, bottle B, bottle C, just as it indicated on the bottle, 1 per meal, let's say, for example. My body doesn't generally need much of anything. So with nutrition response testing, we can test how much the body needs per day. The body will tell us that, okay? So for me, I was surprised to learn I don't even need 1 capsule a day. I might need just a half of something a day.
Wow.
And so for me, when I did my guessing previously by buying something from the health food store, I thought would work because I had said it all. Some expert said this is what you should do for such and such. By taking 1 per meal of such and such, it was like a hammer on my body. I don't know. None of us need a hammer. Some of us just need a little bit just to prompt the body to heal. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so profound. That is so profound, especially for someone like myself who, if a little is good, more is better, bang on it. That was younger days. And still it pops up, as a huge lesson that, again, one size absolutely does not fit more than one person.
That's what we know 100% in this practice. So many times you'll read, if you have acid reflux, you should do such and such, or if you get a cold, you should take zinc or vitamin C. No. First of all, if you have symptoms of a cold, it might not be a virus. It might not be a bacteria. It could be a food that you're sensitive to that's causing this nasal or sinus thing. It could be a chemical that you just got exposed to that you have no idea about. So there's no guessing in terms of the cause. And then let's say it is a virus. First of all, vitamin C might not be what your body needs. Second of all, the brand of vitamin C, if it is what your body needs, might be not a different brand. And here in the office and other nutrition response testing practitioners have different brands of the same product, because there's so many factors, but the body will tell us what it needs. So there's no guessing.
That's so interesting. Now, one of the things that I have found, and I don't know that there's an answer to this, but I'm going to ask the question since you're an advanced practitioner of this. You go in one day and it's this. You go in 2 days later, something completely different. It seems like it's always a moving target. Is that true? I mean, you gave a generalization about yourself. I don't typically need a lot. So that's more like a constitutional thing, I would think. Are you kind of getting where I'm going with it?
Oh, totally. That's partly true as I see it. Basically, I don't see it as a moving target. Okay. In the short run, if you're tested one day and you show up at your practitioner to be tested 2 days later, generally the testing is going to be fairly consistent, okay? Unless in the interim you were exposed to something extreme, like a terrible toxin. Right. Somehow you were in a hotel room and they had just cleaned the floors with a toxic chemical, the carpets. You breathed that in overnight while you were sleeping and you got hit with something. Right. Or if you were exposed to someone with the flu and then it within those 2 days it started to manifest. Right. That would be a moving target type of situation, but otherwise no, it's quite consistent with nutrition response testing in the short term and even in the longer term through the weeks. But this is one unit here. This isn't just the heart and you need a practitioner for the heart, and the liver and you need a practitioner for the liver, and the thyroid, someone different, for an endocrinologist, someone different. And let's say you suffer from depression, you need to see a psychiatrist. No, this is one unit. And so the body does make adjustments. Mm-hmm. So when you first start a program with nutrition response testing, you do need to be seen weekly. Mm-hmm. And that's called the fine-tuning phase, because the body's adjusting to its program. And those organs and glands are, responding. And usually they're responding beautifully to exactly what the body tested for.
Thank you. Such a beautiful answer. And that had such clarity for me as well. And knowing that as you start to heal, the body does heal in a specific order. I only know that from my own bioenergetics, and we find it almost does it in an embryonic way. So it'll start at a cell to go to a tissue, etc. So as you're healing, different things show up over time. Now, you said something else, and I think this is really powerful that I want to just outline, if you will, is the fact that in the beginning, you do need to come more frequently, once a week, because as the body shifts, you get healing. Now, let's see where we're at now. And I really wanted to point that out because I find even with chiropractic, people, here's a thing that I hear a lot of people say, that chiropractor just sets me up, so I just have to keep going in and being dependent on them. They want me to keep coming in. And, my response to that, similar to this, is I'm not saying there aren't some that do that, but in general, you start shifting the muscular skeletal system, there's shifts. Everything shifts, and then it goes back, and then you redo. So until you get a stabilization, it requires that. It's not about, I need to inherit more money and being, no, you have to understand how it works.
Yes, and these are professionals that go into this for the love of helping people. High integrity between, for example, chiropractors and nutritional practitioners and people in the healthcare field. I think it's rare that someone's trying to get you in more frequently. They're trying to take care of you and help you get well.
I agree. And let's just count us trainers in there too.
Oh,
I'm just
absolutely.
kidding. Excellent. All right, Cindy, this is so beautiful. I'm getting such a different kind of understanding of it as well. I'm excited. I'm going to run and find my own practitioner.
Absolutely.
I've had it done, but not to this extreme. I don't know that I understood the whole system enough to have given it enough time to really work. So this is really helpful. I'm going to switch a little bit now then to, you mentioned that your yoga was really helpful, yes. Especially with the pelvic pain. Do you mind kind of starting on your movement journey a little bit then?
Sure. When I developed this chronic pain, I was really debilitated. I couldn't sit normally. I needed one of those donut cushions that you use in class to sit. And I was in excruciating pelvic pain. So the one thing that initially helped me and still helps me is hot yoga. Yeah, and I would do the Bikram style, the 90 minutes in a heated room over 100 degrees with the humidity pumped in.
I know. That's something I could never do, but I can understand. Yes, it warms up the fascia.
Oh, yeah, and that was one of the best ways. Nothing beat it, really, in terms of alleviating the pain temporarily. I did have physical therapy, which I highly recommend for people with chronic pain in general, and especially for women who have pelvic pain or a diagnosis like vulvodynia. There are practitioners around the country now trained to help women with pelvic floor issues, and they're trained all about the structure and the muscles of the pelvic floor, and there are a lot of them.
I know.
Just like you can have, neck tension or shoulder tension in the muscles, you can have that kind of tension on the pelvic floor. So they're just beautiful at helping you get to know your body better and techniques to strengthen that area and relieve the pain. And those are the tools I think I've had in terms of my movement journey. And then I discovered T-Tap.
And do you remember how you found it?
Oh, yes. I've traveled down to the Tampa Bay area many times in the last 2+ years to study nutrition response testing at Ullin Nutritional Systems in Clearwater. I've probably been there over 16 times in the last 2.5 years. So last fall, I got off the airplane and was waiting for the super shuttle to take me to my hotel in Clearwater, as I do often. And the driver opened that door of the super shuttle, and in there was the most lovely young woman, the only person on the super shuttle besides me. And she said, "Hi." I thought I made a new friend, which I did. And she was going to the T-Tap retreat. And she had won one of the challenges, and she was from Canada. I don't recall her name at the moment, but she was excited to hear why I was there and wanted to hear about nutrition response testing. And I was excited to hear about what she was doing. She had lost inches, and her kids couldn't believe that she could stand in one place and do a workout and get strong and lose inches. And so they dropped her off at the beautiful Safety Harbor Resort, and I just wanted to stay. It was so beautiful. And then my driver took me to my hotel in Clearwater, which I love, the Floridian Inn on Gulf to Bay Boulevard. I've never stayed anywhere else. I love the owners there.
Beautiful.
And went on Facebook, and I followed the retreat on Facebook, and I looked up the TTAP website, and then I found you and I started taking your classes. And really, for me and the pelvic issue, TTAP beats anything.
Wow, that's a big statement.
No, I've never found anything like it. And my husband is a professional personal trainer, and he's really impressed watching me do the classes.
Really?
Oh yeah, and he's so well trained. He's really impressed. And I mean, this is whole body, and it's gentle. And I love how your classes are slow, and you do the movements relatively slowly. But with pelvic pain, we have weakness in the core. We have weakness in, for lack of a better term, butt muscles and in the legs. And this contributes to that pelvic floor dysfunction.
Right.
And instead of me sort of lying on my side doing leg lifts and other great exercises that I've learned, this is just so comprehensive in ways I don't completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do, and Teresa Tapp, both of you are absolute experts in how all this is integrated into the body, but this is a whole body workout. And for me to do it from my home, just to log on, and you're so positive and upbeat, and I'm learning how to give myself the gift of this, and not working so hard, taking time for myself. But really, this is keeping me out of pain.
Oh, you and I have not talked about this before, so this is news to me too, girls. Wow, that is so powerful. And I will tell you, I hope that I don't burst anybody's bubble, but you know what? I'm sure Teresa Tapp understands why. I'm not going to tell you I do entirely. I mean, I can use the words, right, and the movement, but there is just something to it. For me, I don't even have to really understand it. I just know that it works, but I've never heard anything that powerful about the pelvic pain. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Because really, my body needs consistent strengthening of the core, which is weak for me, and the leg muscles, and the butt muscles. And this does it powerfully. It's really a gift to have found you.
Thank you for that. That is just wow. It's just a big wow. You mentioned something else that I would love to just kind of highlight also. In the very beginning, you talked about a stressor being scar tissue.
Yes.
Scars. And how many of us women have had C-sections, any kind, hysterectomies, all that scarring, which really disconnects energetically a lot of those neurotransmissions. Then we get clumps of scarring, and really, so sorry, I should be asking a question and not going on about it, but can you kind of share your experience too with that scarring as it relates to a stressor?
Oh, absolutely. What people don't realize, and I guess it's starting to become more known in the US, but it's my understanding in Germany, there's been a lot of discovery on scars. But just like you said, similar, my understanding is that, the nervous system, we have like a gazillion nerves, and a lot of the nerve endings are going to the surface of the skin. And when there is a cut and scar tissue forms, the nervous system isn't able to have that elegant flow of communication. The scar tissue acts like a capacitor, in other words, holding up the communication. It gets stuck in there. The energy gets stuck and held up and doesn't flow throughout the body. So this can definitely affect the functioning of organs and glands and the systems of the body in a dramatic way. So nutrition response testing takes techniques and synthesizes them from all sorts of traditions from human history, including Chinese medicine. You know, thousands of years of discoveries. And so, and I'm not an expert in this. I only know the basics, and I hope I express it properly, but we have meridians, and some very important meridians go down the center. So when we get a scar, well, anywhere on the body, it could be on the little finger, you know, that, and it could affect us. But those scars down the center or that cross that center line can be especially problematic. So as you mentioned, C-sections, episiotomies, tearing from birth, this can be a major contributor to postpartum depression.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's huge what you just said.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
We handle the scars and the body is able to then, if it's an issue, typically a C-section scar or episiotomy scar is going to be an issue typically, but doesn't have to be. Not all scars are going to cause a problem, but with nutrition response testing, we can test each scar and determine if it is currently an issue. They tend to turn on and turn off. And some people say, oh, I've had that umbilicus scar, that belly button, you know, navel, my whole life. Why would I be influencing things now? Well, they turn on and off, so we need to follow them.
Right.
But other scars include a circumcision, piercings, an ear piercing. Got meridians here too. Yeah, here, piercings, belly button piercings can really affect a person's health. Tattoos could be an issue, don't have to be, don't worry. And I'm probably missing some other forms of scars, but those are some of the major ones. And really, these can be handled routinely. This does not have to be a big deal. We recommend a very vitamin E nutrient oil applied to the scar twice a day. And we also offer low-level light therapy, just a healing, like a laser light. You don't even feel it. 4 to 5 minutes in the office every time you come in, or as needed, I should say. Because maybe one little treatment for 4 minutes will do the trick and you won't need another. And it's no big deal to really improve the flow of energy through that tissue.
Interesting. Any chance, do you, and I already realized, right as I'm about to say it, that it would just depend, we have to test, but serapeptase, which is an enzyme that is supposed to also go in and start to dissolve some scar tissue.
Oh, that's really interesting. And that, I didn't know about that. So yeah, I'd be really interested to test that. But yeah, any question someone asks me about a supplement or a condition, testing, we need to test.
Because it might work for one person, and that might be what that scar needs over time, and for somebody else, no.
Totally.
I love it. Cindy, this is so fascinating. Boy, I think we've just given people so much like head-blowing stuff. So I'm going to stop there because my head's blown. I need to process. But would you, and I'll have you just say it now, and then girls, I'm going to go ahead and post information about how somebody could find a Yulin practitioner of the highest level. Cindy will share that. Unfortunately, unless we go to where Cindy is, what state are you in, Cindy?
I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm about 35 minutes outside of Philadelphia in the northwestern suburbs. It's called Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Lovely. Now, it might even be worth it. Or maybe the next time she's in Clearwater, girls, maybe we could get her to come down to the Safety Harbor Spa and the retreat. We'll talk, girl. We'll talk. That would be really fun. I just had that thought. Okay, I'll put that away for now. So Cindy, where can somebody find information about this if this is something that they feel they want to go ahead and pursue?
Well, feel free to be in touch with me and I can direct you. And so I'll get the first contact information is you can call me. I'm at 484-938-7691. That's the phone number. Or go to centerfornutritionalhealing.com. I also have an email address, info@centerfornutritionalhealing.com. Now, you can also go directly to Ullin Nutritional Systems. Dr. Freddie Ullin is the founder, and he has an institute in Clearwater, Florida, where he trains practitioners of all sorts, doctors, nurses, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, nutritionists, trainers, like right.
But I'm playing with you.
Oh, no, that's okay. To practice this all over the country. So there are practitioners around the country, and they refer folks, and here's how you can find out about them. There's a phone number for their hotline to find a practitioner in your area, hopefully. The phone number is 866-418-4801, and they have an email address. So you just email them with your name and the zip code where you need to find an advanced trained practitioner. And that email address is reception, RECEPTION, at UNSINC.info. So reception at UNSINC.info.
Beautiful. And we'll also have this number here too, but that way it'll be easy to find it. Oh, Cindy, this has been just awesome. Such great information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your heart, your passion, for helping people. It's such a blessing to the world. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you, Renee. Sincerely, I found a way to keep my body strong and out of pain, and I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you for the TTAP training classes.
Thank you. All right. Good.